Thank you for tuning into Dirty Teeth and welcome back to the channel. The renowned Italian bike component manufacturer Campagnolo just launched a wide-range 13-speed group set called Ekar GT. This comes about 4 years after introducing their original 13-speed gravel drivetrain, the original Ekar, whose namesake is Mount Ekar, which is about an hour drive from Campagnolo headquarters in Italy. It also happens to have a sometimes gravel, sometimes grassy, adventurous multi-surface climb to the observatory at the top. GT stands for Gran Turismo, and in the context of automobiles, it's associated with builds that are comfy and powerful over long distances. So it makes sense that in this case, Campagnolo's newest offering is aimed at longer distance gravel and all-road riding, as well as touring and bikepacking. So it definitely piqued my interest. In this video, I'll go through the broad strokes of the group set as a whole, detail the finer aspects of each component, and then finish by highlighting the main differences between it and the original Ekar, which, by the way, it's not replacing, it's an addition to the lineup in case you were curious. Sound good? The group set as a whole consists of GT Ergo Power control levers and brakes, a GT rear derailleur, a GT crankset, a GT 13-speed cassette, and a GT 13-speed chain. There's lots of versatility with chainring and cassette options. In the widest configuration of a 36-tooth front chainring and the 1048 cassette in the back, it offers a 480% gear range. This is what the bikepacking crowd is probably most interested in. Before I forget, this is a mechanical drivetrain with hydraulic disc brakes. It's not electronic and it's definitely not wireless, so if that's a deal breaker for you, you might as well click away right now. The retail price for the Gruppo is $1,600 or 1490 euros. And as of now, prices for individual components have not yet been released. The claimed weight of the Gruppo with everything mentioned is 2,700 grams. But it's not clear which chainring and cassette option Campy chose when providing this number. By the way, I'll break down the claimed weight for each individual component as I discuss them, which I guess is now. Starting up front are the brand new GT Ergo Power hydraulic brake levers and shifter. Supposedly, the ergonomics have been updated for better interaction with your palms. They've also increased the reach adjustment range to be comfy for more riders. A new textured pattern has been added to the hoods to increase grip in inclement weather. The hood material is also resistant to the dirt and sweat that tends to accumulate on longer rides. As far as shifting action goes, you can go down by up to 3 sprockets in one throw or up 1 gear at a time. Weights are as follows: 420 grams for the right control and 340 grams for the left control. Both of these factor in the hydraulic brake line and brake caliper. Next is the brand new GT crankset. The arms are aluminum and available in 3 lengths: 170, 172.5, and 175 millimeters, with a Q factor of 151 millimeters. There's 5 chainring options: 36, 38, 40, 42, and 44 tooth. They're made of lightweight 70-75 aluminum and they have a narrow wide profile for increased chain retention. Nothing new here. The rings are easy to swap out without removing the crankset. They attach with 4 bolts and have a symmetrical 104 BCD bolt pattern. This is a pretty standard size, so it leads me to believe you might be able to source smaller aftermarket rings at some point. This could come in handy for a fully loaded bikepacking rig or if you're on a route that has really steep, demanding climbs. But most of the aftermarket rings are currently designed for a 12-speed tooth profile, so the 13 might be a little narrower, and Campy has a special 13-speed chain. I don't know. It'll be fun to find out, but this is all speculation for now. The crank has a 2-piece construction, employing Campy's traditional ultra-torque spindle design. The steel spindle is split down the center, with half of the axle attached to each crank arm. They join in the middle and connect with a splined interface. And this works in unison with the Campagnolo ProTech bottom bracket. Unlike its SRAM and Shimano counterparts, the crank arms have external stainless steel bearings attached directly to them rather than in the bottom bracket cups. This allows for larger size bearings and potentially easier maintenance. Campagnolo also states that this offers better protection against water, mud, dirt, and grime because of the ProTech sealing system. I don't have any experience with it personally, but it sounds good for reliability on ultra distance routes and bikepacking races. With the bottom bracket excluded, Campy gives a claimed weight of 850 grams for the crankset. This is with 172.5mm arms and a 38 tooth chainring. And if you're curious, the Protect bottom bracket weighs about 52 grams. On to the derailleur, which is also unique to the GT series. There's only one version, it has a medium-sized cage, and it's compatible with all 4 GT cassette options, which is nice. The parallelogram has 2-dimensional movement, and again is designed specifically for the GT 1x system. So it plays nice with all 13 sprockets, and keeps shifting precise and accurate across the wide range. It employs large pulleys with big cutouts to help with shedding mud and make the cleaning process a little easier. The derailleur has a permanently engaged clutch to help with chain retention while minimizing chain slap and excess noise. Similar to SRAM derailleurs, it can be locked forward when you need to remove your wheel. The GT derailleur has a claimed weight of 310 grams. There are 4 GT 13-speed cassette options. A 936, a 942, a 1044, and the big dog 1048. Personally, I'd love to check out the 942. They all fit on Campagnolo's proprietary N3W free hub body. You can pause the video here if you want to study the chart showing the jumps between sprockets. But in general, the cassettes feature narrow jumps between the smaller sprockets and progressively larger jumps between the bigger sprockets. This helps with smoother progression and helps keep optimal cadence at higher speeds. And it saves the bigger jumps for when you're climbing or on rougher terrain where the spreadier gaps aren't as important or noticeable. The cassettes are constructed with a combo of aluminum and steel, and the weights are as follows. The 936 is 340 grams, the 942 is 380 grams, the 1044 is 400 grams, and the big dog 1048 is 435 grams. The Ekar GT drivetrain uses a C13 chain. This interacts specifically with the GT chain rings and rear sprockets. It uses steel inner links and has a nickel Teflon surface treatment to resist wear and tear in all conditions. The GT 13-speed chains are also offered with either the classic Campy connector pin or the new C-Link connector. This is very similar to other quick links on the market, making it easier to take the chain on and off or do field repairs. The C-Link version has 117 links, while the pin version comes with 118. Both weigh 242 grams uncut. Compared with the Big Brother original or regular Ekar system, there's a few noticeable differences with the GT version that I'll quickly mention. The Ekar Q factor of 145.5 is slightly narrower than the 151mm of the GT crankset. The Ekar cranks have a 165mm arm length option, while the GT does not. Ekar crank arms are made of carbon and sexy looking, while the GT arms are made of alloy and not so much. All in all, the Ekar group set is around 300 grams or 2/3 of a pound lighter than the GT group set, roughly 2,400 versus 2,700 grams. The chain rings are not interchangeable between Ekar and GT. This is because Ekar uses a weird asymmetrical 123 BCD bolt pattern and the GT uses a standard symmetrical 104 BCD. The smallest ring available for Ekar cranks is 38 tooth, while the GT offers a 36. Ekar has 3 cassette options, while GT offers the same 3 options plus a 4th, the 1048. With all that said, the main question that comes to mind is intercompatibility and mixing and matching between the original Ekar components and the newer GT offerings. We know the chain rings won't match up between cranks, but you could go with the lighter carbon cranks if you don't need the 36 tooth. It also seems like you could use the old derailleur, maybe just not enough capacity for the new 1048 cassette. It reminds me of when SRAM first launched the 1052 Eagle cassette after the biggest had been 1050 for a while. And you technically couldn't use the older derailleurs on the new cassettes. So who knows? Also, what about using the old Ekar shifters with the new GT derailleur and or the bigger cassette? Seems like the lever pull ratio should be the same, so all should be fine. But I want to be clear, this is all my speculation for now, as Campy has not mentioned anything yet on this topic. So only time and testing will tell. That's it for now. Campagnolo's newest 13-speed offering in a nutshell. What do you all think? Is this the best Gruppo since sliced bread, or is it lukewarm? How do you think it stacks up to the competition from Shimano and SRAM? I can't wait to check out your comments down below. If you found value in this video, please like and share and consider subscribing so I can continue to grow this little channel. And please let me know if videos like this are up your alley and if I should continue making more content along these lines. Thank you so much for hanging out till the end, and until next time, ride bikes, give back, pay it forward. Thanks so much for squeezing dirty teeth into your busy schedule. Please help us reach more people and ensure you receive new videos by giving this video a like, subscribing to the channel, and clicking the notification bell. Until next time, ride bikes, give back, pay it forward.